Welcome back to Tambay TV. On this episode, we got the Red Ranger back. Tambay, Tambay, Tambay. Welcome back to Tambay TV. On this episode, with me on the Tambay couch, my boy, the Red Ranger, Sonny Sison. What's up?
In the hizzy.
In the hizzy. What's up, bro? How have you been, my man?
Plugging away, brother. Plugging away.
What does that mean when you say plugging away?
Plugging away, like I'm grinding and I'm trying to get stuff happening.
Exactly, man. The man of action himself. To those who don't know, Sonny is an amazing stunt coordinator who's now here in the Philippines, bringing all his experience from the States out here to talk geek with us. But before we get into his repertoire, if you may, I want to pick his brain about the stuff that we've seen recently. And some shit that he's been in also. You've seen Thor.
Yes.
You've seen Justice League.
Yes.
What makes Thor, because I think hands down and the box office shows it, fucking Thor is better than Justice League. How does that happen?
I think let me take it from my perspective first of all. So we're not gonna talk.
That's what we want to hear,
We're not gonna talk
brother.
structure, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 stuff. Okay, I'm talking strictly as an audience member going to be entertained. First and foremost, the switch from what Thor was, the previous two that they did, he was kind of a little too serious.
That's true.
Almost to the point where we, and we're comic book geeks, right?
Yeah,
so
hell
Thor
yeah,
is
no
a particular way, of course, his behavior, his speech, and all that stuff. This was such a departure from what we were used to.
Which was a big risk in my opinion, because
But it worked.
It worked.
It worked.
Exactly. It worked.
It made us, I think, feel more vested in him. That there's this humanity.
We can relate to him more.
Yeah, right. And they played the whole transition of him being the son of Odin.
Yeah,
he's about to be the man.
Yeah,
but here comes
next
his
Odin's son,
sister from nowhere. Right, and then
hello, baby.
See, even from day one, even though he's bad, people love Loki.
Fuck yeah.
You know,
but I think it's Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston is the one
he
bringing
brings it, right?
He brings the game.
And Hemsworth had never been given the opportunity to show his range.
Yeah.
He was always
Plus, he's also grown because of movies like The Vacation, like where he did a little comedy and Ghostbusters. He was funny in Ghostbusters. Right. He was really idiotic, and
did you know about the one that's coming out? He's the part of a special forces.
Yeah. 12 strong or 20
12
strong was
right?
it? Yeah.
So I'm like,
I'm excited. That's range, dude.
Right?
We saw you do comedy. Now you're doing fucking action. Like it kind of reminded me of something like a Black Hawk Down or 13 Hours.
Right. Can be. And I'm excited.
I'm excited, man. So what do you think? So there's that change with Thor, but on the other hand, we got fucking Gal Gadot who did. I love Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman was good.
Exactly. But she's there with Batfleck. I'm a fan of Batfleck. I think you are too, right?
I like him as Batman. Yeah.
As Batman, right? So just those two alone. We're not even counting Cyborg and all the shit that they threw in the mix with that shit. How come that didn't work and Thor worked, dude?
Story,
right?
Story. Well, it's a team effort. If you think about it all the way around. You have story, you have your actors, you have your director. I want to say the stunt department to a degree, but the stunt department has to deliver what the director wants. You know, we can suggest ideas or
no, but I think the effects, fight scene wise, it was kind of flawless. Justice League, I'm talking about.
We can't take away from that. That's what I'm saying. But as far as I'm sure, even the action guys have this feeling like this could be better. You know, just off of what they're reading on script or can we do a little bit more, something different?
How would you have done some shit differently with Justice League? Because I'm kind of...
I don't think that you got enough... What was the length of the movie? Was it
2 hours? But it was mandated by the boss, Kevin Sujihara, the head of the Warner Brothers. He mandated like a fucking 2 hour because they get more screen times and all that shit.
Yes, okay. So, but you have how many characters in it?
Exactly, right.
Right?
6.
So we're only getting a taste of who they are. Right? And now we're talking just within the action alone.
Yeah.
How much screen time does each one get to show them? Like their capability. We already know Wonder Woman. We already know Batman. We already know Superman. But Flash and Aquaman.
Yeah.
Right?
Cyborg.
Cyborg too.
Cyborg
right?
in the mix.
So you have a story. You have 5 stories within one movie.
That's supposed to run for 2 hours.
Which you need the time to expound on. That's why, Avengers Ultron was 3 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Because
almost 3 hours.
You got backstory on who Hawkeye really is.
Vision. You also got
right. So you're introducing these characters that, for us in the comic book world, we know. And how true are they, or are they true to the comic book characters that we know? Marvel's smart.
Exactly. But my feeling is that Warner Brothers, wanted to get back in the race real fast and up to par with Marvel, that they reverse engineered the fucking thing. In my head, they did Justice League first instead of introducing Batman, Aquaman, like the Marvel style, just to stick it to the man of Marvel. We can do it from the fly.
Could have been.
Right? It's like, that's how I feel.
But they talked Justice League for a long time already.
Right? Plus, it's still not cooked. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they present us something that doesn't feel
served
cooked.
it too early.
Exactly, right? Show us the Aquaman movie first.
Show us the Aquaman movie. Show us the Flash movie.
Exactly.
And then
boom. And then, because looking at, especially, we were talking about this also the other day, with the new Infinity War trailer, you're like, wow, that was just by the trailer, it's fucking good. Yeah. You know what I mean? There was this joke.
But see, we're all familiar with those characters.
Exactly, because they took the fucking time.
Yeah.
And I was telling you the other day, it's almost a decade since we first saw Thanos.
Well, right.
And then it's only now that we're getting him.
But part of it is, if you think about it, right? They need to ride on the coattails of Wonder Woman fast. Wonder Woman did so good for them.
Good.
It was like their
so good, but too soon. We got her earlier this year, and
DC,
we're seeing
DC was redeemed, so they saw, wow, Wonder Woman made this.
Yeah, let's put in more of her.
Yeah, right. We'll put her in, and then everybody else, and just by hype alone, everybody's like, I'm gonna go see this movie. Just by hype, right? But there's a drawback to all these superhero movies. Those that aren't comic book geeks, they're superhero inundated, like to a point where it's like, we're done with the
again.
Yeah.
How many of those have we had? That's
Right.
the shit that I've heard from them.
Right. So,
no, but then if it's good, it's good. It's got to have good talk value for people. Like, for example, Wonder Woman. Like, I want to ask you, like, those Amazon scenes in fucking Themyscira were crazy.
That was, for me, someone was really creative with the horse stuff.
Fuck, did you see that? She picked up the shield that she had to go down. I'm like, wow, dude.
But even in the training stuff, before that fight on the beach, right? Robin Wright was fighting on the horse.
Yeah.
They were just doing some really creative stuff. Stuff that
Justice League, they used the Game of Thrones one where they get on the horse, standing on the horse, and then starting to shoot arrows and shit.
Right. So, if you think about it, like, we're familiar with it, but we've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was cool.
I've never seen that before, especially
cool. Chicks
chicks fighting in fucking skirts. You get a lot of upskirts in that fucking... Right?
We'll catch up on that with later when we start talking the stunt stuff.
Okay.
But, I have something to say about stunts for women in the industry, man.
Hit it now, dude. Hit it now.
Really?
Hit it now,
Okay.
yeah. We'll get back to that later, but
All
I
right.
want to hear this
All right.
first.
Well, first and foremost, we know that action is a hormone, testosterone-driven thing.
Yeah.
Right? But with all these movies where women are...
With all this social justice shit. No, I'm kidding. With
Well,
equality.
There's a lot of action movies for women.
Now,
Where, let's even go back some years to
as far as Cynthia Rock?
Yeah,
That's
even
far.
That,
That's
even
far.
That stuff,
exactly.
Even that stuff, right? But
80s,
there's
man.
a difference. Now, if we're talking what these women have to wear,
Right?
right? Skimpy clothing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Usually tight shit.
Tight shit or revealing skin, right? Even let's say a regular car chase scene of some sort like that, and a woman has to jump from a car, right? She's in a skirt, she's in high heels. You can't wear knee pads, you can't wear elbows. Well, guys can get away with that
exactly,
shit.
yeah.
You ask for a bigger suit. And you can put your elbows, you can put your backpack in there. You know, you can wear a girdle and pads, and women can't do that shit. They gotta fucking man up.
Which impressed me with fucking Wonder Woman and the Amazonian scene in Justice League, because there were a lot of parts that they were on all fours. Like Hippolyta, for a time, she fell off the horse fucking skirt and bare elbowed and shit. She fell, and I'm like, dang, the stunt woman would have felt that.
So
dude.
yeah, you know, part of there's more attention being drawn to it, more credit to women being, you know, recognized for the conditions that they have to work with. So I applaud them for that, man. They have to be just as tough as guys, if not tougher. Because in most instances, they don't get the opportunity to wear pads like guys do.
That's true.
You know,
That's
so
true.
I'm like, yeah, man, look at that.
Yeah.
You're fighting high heels. Oh my god.
How do you even kick?
That's nuts.
If you look at Wonder Woman's costume, even her costume, she's fucking wearing high heels.
Right.
How does she even run with fucking high heels? Seriously.
It's a lot of training.
Dang. How do they? Is it like you fall in the ball of your soul?
You know, next time I'm gonna take a look at the construction of those boots, because sometimes
she's wearing high heels, man.
Is it high heels? Not like a full boot that kind of has a heel on it.
Oh, they're not heels, but they're tiptoed, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But then it's like one of those, like not like stilettos or shit.
You remember during our recent meeting, I mentioned to Erik, I said, I hope that the costumes being designed for this are for function, not just look.
Yeah.
You know, and I
had secret project.
I had to relate the whole, and he knows. I said,
he understood.
You work in Power Rangers, man. Those costumes aren't made for fighting. You know.
Yeah.
You
can't see
that helmet. Your breathing's limited.
Yeah.
There's no dude. If
what was the time limit again? Because I remember every time, because you know I do cosplay and shit, right? What was the time limit again that you can only wear the mask? I remember you told us that last episode.
If we're doing a live appearance, right? And this was dictated to us.
I remember.
By
you
us
told us.
doing that event at NASA in Houston.
Yep.
And then one of the astronauts put the helmet on. And
you
goes,
can't do this.
Whoa! You guys put this on, and how long are you in this?
You can't do that.
Yeah.
How long was it? What was the time? That's my question.
Previous to that time, some of us were in those helmets 45 minutes to an hour and a half. But this is just regular meet and greet. How do you do? Shake your hand. And then you say, how do you do? You can't. But you shake their hand, you take pictures with them, next person in line. Sometimes, like my first appearance in Hawaii, I went Red Ranger by myself. Dude, that line wrapped around the mall twice.
Shit.
Dude, I couldn't get away.
Of
because
course.
we needed to get through that line.
Couldn't you get a sub? Like a sub Red Ranger? No, it's just you.
Man,
it's just
dude. Up until recently, part of the reason why I left the company is it started to move in a different direction from...
Which company, please enlighten the audience of...
The company that owns Power Rangers in the United States. It starts with an S, ends with an N.
Saban.
Oh, Sison? What?
I didn't get that.
But you know, the people that were there when I was the suit guy in the 90s.
To those who don't know, listen to the previous episode. We talked in depth about his experience he represented the Red Ranger for the longest time, but he also did the black. I mean the white.
I shifted around in various colors.
Yeah.
But just to be clear, for the TV show, I was a ranger for a hot beat. I got bored with it, and I wanted to play bad guys instead. More fun.
You did the putty. You did the putty monster.
The other side of it was I was hardcore into capoeira at the time.
Yeah. Well, finish the Red Ranger story first.
Right, Red Rangers.
That's what show
okay. So,
you did in Hawaii.
For live appearances, we knocked it down to 30 minutes tops in the helmet before we needed to take a break.
30 minutes.
The astronaut said you are breathing your own carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna pass out. And
so how long was it? An hour, right? Was it?
Sometimes, but prior to that.
No. How much? How long? The astronaut. What did he say?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. And the director of marketing at the time, who was arranging all the Ranger appearances, heard it, and she said, "We agree. We agree."
Fair enough, because I don't want my Rangers dying.
Right?
Ranger just passed out because he's been on there for like an hour.
Yeah. So that's something. Here's an interesting thing with regard to wearing that helmet. Because of my experience at that point, I gained a lot of trust from the company in hiring the new
stunt guys,
stunt guys, and suit performers for these live appearances. And oftentimes, I would first try to go through friends. They're already working stunt people, so I know they're capable. They're martial artists, and they know what the property is. So you have to not just be putting on the costume, otherwise it's just a guy in a costume. You have to know how Rangers act. Just the physical movement stuff. If you don't get that, the audience, the people who come to see you,
won't buy it.
They feed up on that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this really funny experience. I was doing it as a Red Ranger, right? And this kid comes up to me, and he's about chest level, probably 9, 10 years old. And he points to my belt. And
That's
he goes,
the wrong belt.
Yeah.
No shit.
He goes, "Why are you wearing Billy's belt?" And I went,
"Oh."
Yeah, it was Triceratops, the Triceratops coin in the belt.
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't my fault.
Yours is the Rex.
Tyrannosaurus.
The T-Rex, right? Yeah. See, I remember.
It was the handler who packed the bag for me to put the suit on, and I never paid attention.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, mortal
so the kid
sin.
was like, he's pointing at my belt, and he's like, "Hey." So the
You're not the real Red Ranger.
The handler comes up real quick, and he says, "Oh, his belt is being repaired, so Billy, let him borrow his."
What was Billy wearing?
No, it
Blue
was just
Ranger.
Red Ranger.
What?
I was by myself.
It was just you.
Just me. So yeah, we didn't have to worry about anybody else being wearing the wrong costume, right?
Oh.
Not too long after.
Wow.
That. Not too long after.
Give me. I'm curious to know, like, what specific actions do you remember? How do you internalize someone like the Red Ranger? Like, spiffy hand gestures or whatnot.
We go back to my childhood, being raised in Hawaii. I have Japanese channel 13. Right? So I've been watching Japanese action.
Oh shit!
Since early 1970s.
It's been ingrained.
So I know their mannerisms.
Yeah, like what? Give me like two mannerisms that you would be.
All right.
Doing.
So say for example, and you even see this in some of the anime stuff. Japanese anime, right? So instead of a big, I'm gonna respond to you just with a physical movement. You ask me a question, and I'm just gonna go.
I got it.
Right?
You guys didn't see it, but he did a subtle nod.
A subtle nod,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
As opposed to a yes, right? Like someone else would interpret it like yeah. But the anime stuff, if you notice how their physical movement is an internalized vocalization transferred into how it would be like ask me a question, any kind of question.
Are you the Red Ranger?
So rather than me saying, so that's there.
Yeah, but you have to do it physically.
I'll just be the. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it.
Just something.
Yeah, I got it.
So,
because it will be like submissive and not like bleeder-esque if you do the.
There's subtle things and there's some overtly.
How would you? What would your hand gestures be?
Let's say, for example, we gotta attack them. The mentality is okay. There's the bad guys. That's all right. It's superhero, comic book combined with the Japanese sensibilities.
Okay. Right? Hands at the waist.
Right. Hands in the waist.
I knew it. Yeah. Chest out.
Chest out. Shoulders back. If not hands on the waist, arms wide.
Arms
right?
wide.
So in a certain position, almost like toes pointed forward.
Yep.
one foot pointed in the opposite direction.
60-40.
60-40.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So you have a 3/4.
Yep.
As opposed to being just like this. This is boring. Right?
Yeah.
So if you're open like this, and let's say I'm going to call my boys, right? Rangers here, Rangers here. Rather than just go, hey, guys, let's fight.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something like get their attention. So
snappy.
Are you ready?
Snappy.
Right?
See that one, the last one, the one with the knee out like that,
There's
the elbow out like that.
Yeah, there's a kind of a snap into the movement.
Kata-esque almost,
right.
A little bit.
Now we go back to, if you understand the history of the Rangers all their movements are based on samurai. So if you know,
that makes sense.
Samurai,
yeah.
They snap into that movement before they attack. Right? They're very quiet, and all of a sudden, everything's a snap.
Snap. Yep.
Into that
Kata-esque. That's why I said that. Yeah.
So, why I left the company? The decision of mid-level executives at that time were a bunch of people that just saw people in costumes. Flippy. Flip. That's what Rangers became. For me, it was more than
definitely.
Just
yeah.
You had to have that vibe.
Yep. You had to sell it, like the nuances, the subtle nuances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when that happened, I go, we're just people in suits. You don't need me anymore. Why am I doing this? I'm out.
This was circa which Zord was it?
2013, I left the company.
So which Zord was the one they were using?
It was
still the Dragon Zord. Because I fell off.
No, we're talking
exactly. I know. That's when I fell off. Because after the Dragon,
that was the last time Rangers Mighty Morphin.
The movie
was 20. I'm sorry.
No, the movie was 97.
4 was the series.
Yeah.
Finished.
No, but the movie was
96?
6 maybe. Yeah.
96.
I was still in grade school. I remember that. Yeah.
I think 96 and
96, 95.
Maybe 95.
95.
Because I was on the live tour already going around the world. That's when I was White Ranger.
Yeah,
because I didn't work on the movie. I didn't work on the movie. I worked on the second one, Turbo, which was 97. Yeah.
Nice. Speaking of shit you've worked on recently, there's another question that I got here regarding. Well, last time you told me the last time that you were gonna do this, but we couldn't talk about it all in air. Now we can, and it's out. Most of us have seen it, and I'm talking about Ironfist, man. Oh. How was that? Well, before I ask you how that was and what you think of it in general, personally, it was not good. I did not like Finn. He looked lazy, but then that's me, because I'm a kung fu guy. We're kung fu guys, and we know. Fucking just to those who don't know, he's the king. He's the what is he of Iron Fist? The kung fu. He's the master of kung fu.
Master of kung fu.
That's his title, right?
Oh, isn't it? That master of kung fu is Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. That's right. But then who's Iron Fist? He's the
living weapon.
The living weapon. Sorry, my bad. So the living weapon. As the living weapon, and as someone who's supposedly learned kung fu for years and wherever he did. It didn't sell me. But then your fight scene was dope, though. It was kind of fast, I think.
Yeah.
Talk us through working on Iron Fist, man.
First and foremost, I got to give credit to my boys. I'm very protective of people in the stunt community.
Protective how?
Protective in the sense of
I kick your ass. Don't look at my boy like that.
But more like the work that we have to put in. At the end of the day, we often don't have the final say in what it should look like.
That's true.
So we have to cater to what the producers want and what the director wants, right?
Yep.
We can have as much input as we can to try to make it better, but at the end of the day, unless you're the action director, or you're the producer, or you're the director yourself, you may be very limited in what you can actually do. Right?
And which takes they'll use. Right?
Correct. Right? So
there are times you get cut completely, right? That happens, right?
It happens.
It happens.
It might be like what was intended to be a 1-minute scene becomes 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right?
And then half of your faces are like seen. Your face is seen though. I even took a screenshot.
In, out.
I remember.
I'm in, out.
But your face is completely seen in that. I tagged you, remember?
Yes.
On Facebook. I'm like, that's my boy. I'm like, this is the scene he's talking about.
The funny thing is,
How long did that take?
I think we shot that.
Preparation and all that shit.
We shot we rehearsed and previs 2 weeks. Let's go back and say what a previs is.
Okay.
Previs is short for pre-visualization. Meaning, how's the fight going to look? How is it going to be edited? So while we're rehearsing the fight,
the shots already.
The shots are kind
figured
of
in.
planned. Okay, this is how the action should look. This camera
like
angle,
this guy's falling on the camera.
Bam,
like
bam,
there's
bam.
some shots like that. Yep.
A lot of times productions require it. I believe for Ironfist they were required to turn in previous fights. Whether or not the director for that particular episode followed it or not, that's out of the stunt department's hands.
Yeah, but as far as they're concerned, this much action you gotta do.
You gotta do, or try to do at least.
Okay.
Right. So we do have sometimes we have constrictions. Can we finish the scene in the allotted time? Because then it becomes a budgetary concern.
Certain, yeah.
Right. So you got to think in those terms also.
Mm-hmm.
For that particular episode, I think it was episode 10.
10, okay.
Right. I forget the number of guys, but
it was a lot. It was a scene. To those of you who've seen Iron Fist and wondering what the fuck we're talking about, it's that scene where Finn is running away.
Yes.
With a dude. He was with a dude.
Character.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But they're trying to break out of the hands.
Exactly.
The hands compound.
Base, the compound,
right.
yeah. And then there's a group of guys who block the gate.
The hands come up.
The hands come up, and they're not your usual ninjas. It's you guys, right?
Yeah,
it's like slightly thuggish clothes and whatnot, which is one of the things. One of my complaints, like, really?
Why were we in ninja suits?
Exactly, or not even just ninja suits, or just like armed to be ready, or with guns, or with shit. This is the living weapon who's trying to.
I think,
you know,
to
or if you're gonna be the hand that had chucks or like weaponized because you're ready to face the living weapon, man.
I think maybe that fits along in the storyline. It's like we weren't expecting to be there.
Yeah.
And we're caught off guard, and we just gotta face the problem.
Okay.
And as opposed to us always walking around and we sleep with our swords in our hands.
Yeah, Sabagay. Well, that was the scene. Plus, Sonny's a dude in red. You'd see him. It's a shadow, but he has a slow. You get hit. I remember you get hit.
Yeah. I fight not Finn, but
not Finn, the other guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it was that at all. But
so the cool thing was, right. So it was a mix of West Coast stunt guys and East Coast New York stunt guys. So a lot of the action that's recently gone back to New York.
Where was this shot? In Malamay.
This was shot in New York.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it was based.
We shot it on not Long Island. Maybe Long Island. I think Long Island. The action stuff that's gone to New York has forced the local stunt guys there to catch up really fast, because all the TV dramas that shoot out there are more like running shooting. You don't very rarely see hand-to-hand stuff, but since Marvel has been shooting all their Netflix stuff out there,
some of them have relocated.
A lot of them have to catch up, right, with their skills. It's not that they weren't skilled or not training; they just didn't have the opportunity to show.
Okay.
Right? Now you all of a sudden you're slammed with all these projects, so they're short on the number of skilled people that they need for this particular shot. So of course, Brett, the stunt coordinator, has to pull guys from the West Coast to come. So for me, the best thing that can happen is when you're on a project, you're working with friends, man.
Exactly.
Right?
So these are your friends from
LA. A bunch of my boys are on that. And, some of them were freaking legends. Simon Ree, best of the best. He's out there with us. James Liu.
How did you get the call? Because you were here in the Philippines, remember?
I was here. Yeah. Brett and I worked together on Olympus Has Fallen. Right? And Brett's a pretty big coordinator in his own right. He was the coordinator of Marco Polo.
Oh, some shit I should watch. I should remember. I'll write that down.
Dope series.
Yeah. Right.
So if you watch Marco Polo and you see what
I'll write
what
it
they're
down.
capable of doing, then you go, what happened to Iron Fist? So it's not on the stunt team.
It wasn't on the stunt team because definitely I'll say it because I know you won't. Fucking Finn needs to train, man. He needs to train because I mean we were just talking about how Rangers move like samurais, you know, the snapping, and I get it with the subtle nods instead of the big nods. There are certain snaps, especially when you're doing stances in Kung Fu, like the 60-40 or the whatnot, the laying of the hand. It's just not convincing as shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know you can't talk about it, but that's my main chief concern.
I can't talk about Vince specifically because I wasn't around him. Or when we were training, he didn't come and train with us.
Which he should have. That's my point. Or they don't do that.
He may have obligations to other things that he needs to do for that particular episode.
That's true.
Right? I can vouch for Jessica Henwick.
She was convincing as shit.
Trained.
She looked like she trained.
So where Finn's concerned, he's got a lot of pressure on himself. You know, he's the lead of the thing.
Maybe. Okay, fine. Let's cut him a little slack.
Something, you know, at the end of the day, execute. The difference between what you want and what is executed doesn't always pan out. It's hit and miss, right?
That's true. That's true.
If you think
that's
about,
a sad reality of life. But then,
right? Think about not even an action series per se. Not every episode is great.
That's true.
Right? Breaking Bad.
Oh, for me, the fourth season was.
Like.
Yeah, it was a snooze fest, man. I'm like, somebody better die soon. This is losing its luster, dude.
But yeah, that's what my
not to say that I didn't love it. I loved it, but then let's call a spade a spade.
They got into the whole dialogue and so it was a lot more acting than there was.
Trying to give like screen time to the others, like more.
So, if you understand that concept, how that applies to something of that storyline, then you can be a little more forgiving where it comes to these action superhero action movies, because if it's always on a high, the next episode has to top that, and then top that, and top that.
No, it's not. It doesn't have to be like that. Like for example, Daredevil. Like that's one of the. I want to bring in Punisher, but then I'll save that for later. But let's compare the martial arts of Daredevil compared to Iron Fist. Most of it was there. Like Jessica's scenes were amazing. Like especially that cage match that she did. That was
right.
That was kind of believable. I mean, 100 and I'm guessing she's 110, 120 at the most, going up against the guy was like what, big and whatever the fuck.
Right.
Or just an average dude. It's kind of not believable by itself, but you just bring it with the action and the way she would defend, she would punch. It was convincing, and her moves were like snappy, so that it wasn't really that. The action wasn't really the problem of Iron Fist. I think it's more of the story, as you said. That's always a guiding principle with these things.
Okay. If we're going to jump back to what we know of Daniel Rand, Iron Fist.
Oh, so many things wrong.
Right?
It's
just the interpretation of it
by
whoever the powers that be didn't know
who Iron Fist.
It didn't see like who was he?
Exactly.
Was he trying to find himself? Sometimes he's a smart ass, entitled kid.
Yeah.
And then another time he's this spiritual.
Yeah.
You know, and he's supposed to be the champion of Kunlun.
Kunlun, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So he should already have been immersed in that.
Exactly.
What kind of not to the extreme that David Carradine was in the old Kung Fu series, but he should have that air that he knows who he is.
Yep. More confident.
He's confident.
He can be lost because this is a new world for him, and
right?
all
But
that.
it shouldn't be like a bratty kind of.
Yeah, he was whiny as shit. Yeah. Again, not Finn's fault, maybe, but
that's what I'm saying. It may very well have been the director wants you to do it like this.
Yeah. No, that one I could forgive him for, but what I can't forgive him for is the physical shit. You know, like I don't know, man. I need my Iron Fist. Call me superficial, but I need my Iron Fist fucking Bruce Lee ripped.
Yeah.
I don't like the baby fats that was on him when he was shirtless, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you remove your shirt, I want to see fucking 15 years in Kunlun or how long he was in Kunlun training for.
Right?
It was, of course, or like scars. He had like baby tits shit. Like what the fuck was that? It didn't sell me.
When you get the time. Are you familiar with the Marco Polo series?
I'm watching it. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. People have been telling me.
You know 100 Eyes.
No,
the Blind Monk.
No, not that. They have a blind monk.
Blind monk.
Fuck, that kicks ass.
But he's Wudang, not Shaolin.
Okay, Wudang is
Wudang is the opposite side of Shaolin.
Because Shaolin
is Buddhism.
Okay.
Wudang is Taoism.
I didn't know that.
Taoists or renegade monks.
Taoists are from China also?
Right, but that's the Bruce Lee philosophy thing.
Okay.
As opposed to Buddhism, which was based
I love
on
being schooled with this shit.
Dharma
okay.
coming... You know the whole history of Shaolin, right?
Give us a brief
China?
one right
Okay.
now. I would love to hear it.
So, Bodhidharma
Uh-huh.
came from India when there was a monastery of Buddhists in China.
Who was this again?
Bodhidharma.
Bodhidharma,
Okay.
the boss, the prophet. What is he?
I forget what the Chinese term is, the name for him is. But he goes to China
Okay.
and he sees the monks are lazy.
Uh-huh.
They just not
No
active,
discipline.
No discipline. So he starts to teach them the Lohan stances.
Nice.
Stances, right? And where did these?
Which is kung fu based?
If you think about it,
Yeah, it should be.
have you taken yoga classes before?
No.
Okay. They have positions called like the archer position.
Okay.
What is that for us?
60. The bow stance.
It's the bow,
Exactly.
but it's a forward bow stance,
Forward bow stance. Yeah.
right? So it's not the horse.
Yep,
It's
yep,
not
it's
the
not
ma
the
bow.
ma- yep,
We're
yep.
talking, right?
Yep.
Like this.
Yep.
Right. Then you can do the reverse.
Reverse bow stance.
Reverse bow stance
Yeah.
or
I love talking to someone who can get kung fu, man. A lot of people get this.
So yeah, if you talk about Buddhism from that aspect, where does Buddhism come from? Hinduism,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
What is Hinduism related to as far as exercise? Yoga,
Yoga. Uh huh.
right?
Nice.
Meditative state. When you're in, for example, you know as a kung fu practitioner, when we have to hold that mabo,
Yeah.
and this is no offense to my Japanese brother practitioners, but kung fu holds those horse and
long
long
fucking
and
time.
low,
Yeah, low.
depending on the style. Depending
Yeah,
on the style, because Wing Chun doesn't go that low,
that's true.
right? But
'Cause-
then there are some Japanese styles that drop low.
Like which ones?
I think Goju drops very low. Certain times in Shotokan forms, I see that they drop very low, right? But their stance is different. Their alignment's different. They kind of go a little bit toes out. Kung Fu,
Yes,
toe
straight up.
forward,
Yeah.
right?
And then low.
Right, and low. Low,
And
thighs,
long.
thighs level.
until it's like fucking. Like,
Yeah. Put that glass of water on top of your thigh and hold it. If that shit shakes and falls off, you gotta hold it on, right? So,
Did they make you do that shit?
dude,
Oh, that's hard.
when we tested,
And
or
I thought
trained-
we had it bad with my dad, dude.
when we tested or trained, and we had to go to that stance. Sometimes my teacher's brother in particular, he's just a hard ass in a good way. He stands on your fucking legs, man.
What?
You feel like
How
you're-
big is he
you're-
though?
He's 6'2",
What the fuck? How can a
probably
60 dude?
190.
How?
Yeah, we're sicking. You know, he gets on, we're like,
Oh,
but then at
damn.
some point, he knows how to kind of take his weight off. You know, while he's standing up there, to try
Just
to
feeling you up.
dissipate it out, and you can hold it for a good 10 to 30 seconds, and he's got to jump off. So
How long was the worst? Because my dad would whenever he would. The most intense we got with him was as someone was doing the Chen Tao. Let's say my brother Gabe or my other brother Mike, Queer Mike, shout out to my bros, are doing the Chen Tao. We're fucking holding the horse stance.
While one guy performs, you
Well,
gotta hold
exactly. That's what I meant. While one guy's performing his kata, or in Kung Fu we call it the Chen Tao, we're fucking doing that shit. So holding that for like fucking 5 minutes at a time. So that's really fucked up.
I'll tell you. What's my funniest experience with that? Okay, before my teacher opened up the school, we first trained at a park. Then after the park, we started training in this backyard. And you know, backyard training or home training is always harder than school.
Fuck yeah,
You know what I mean?
always.
And a lot of times...
Did you guys have the Wing Chun mannequin there?
No, you know what? I'm the first... I did a job where they required a Wing Chun dummy with a guy to perform on it. And I asked, what are you guys going to do with that dummy? They're like, let's discuss. I said, are you going to ship that back to LA? And they go,
I love that thing.
A couple 30 minutes later, so they go, hey, if you want it, it's yours. You want us to ship it back to LA?
Oh, shit.
I gave it to my teacher.
Nice. Right? I love that thing.
I use it because, you know, we have some elements of Wing Chun in our system, but I use it more in the Filipino martial arts sense.
More
how the hands move, how you
reverse.
angle off, different movement. But you see, the mistake that a lot of people make who don't know the difference between Wing Chun and FMA is they'll assume when they see FMA hands, because we do sticky in a different way. We do pak sao in a different way.
What's pak sao and sticky again?
Chi sao.
Chi sao
is sticky. Like, you know, when you see them
Yep,
roll,
yep, got it.
right?
Yep,
when they're rolling, that's chi sao, right? That's chi sao. When you see this with Tai Chi people, and they do the small circle and they rock back and forth, that's chi sao.
Yep, yep. Okay,
right?
that's chi sao.
So you're feeling for sensitivity.
Yeah, yeah, we do that.
Right?
With Kung Fu a little bit.
Okay, so that's chi sao. Pak sao is slap. Just means slap. Slapping hand.
Okay. So how do you use the Wing Chun? You go
right? For example, if let's say you were to, I was going to engage you to do a particular block. So I throw a straight punch to your face, and you block it. Let's say on the outside of my forearm,
that's what I was gonna do.
right?
Yeah.
Whoop, block. So this hand, the slapping hand goes, pow, hits your hand away. And this.
Well, can you do that? Sorry, I'm gonna stand and I want to say this.
Right. So let's say we're facing off, and I'm trying to get you to do something.
Okay.
If you don't get to your block in time, I actually hit you, right? Bam! You're not there in time. But let's say you get to the block in time. Bam! This, I'm anticipating this to come anyway. Because that's what I'm baiting you for.
Yeah.
Right? The second hand is already set. Because if you notice when Wing Chun people stance, it's one hand a little extended in front of the other, but they're covering their center line. Right?
Tilted to the side.
Right. But their shoulders aren't pulled back so far. It's almost 3/4 to center, because Wing Chun wants a center line for you.
Yeah.
So if I engage you with my lead hand and you block it, my second hand is already close to it. I'm going to slap this away, and this is already in, right? So they're going to go, and they're going to do this with like a slap to also
make it hurt.
Make it hurt, right? So it's bam, right there.
So it's forward. You're gonna move it forward.
I'm still going forward.
Yeah.
A lot of people see cinematically. I'll do this. Bam. I'll pull it back, and then so you see this punch off again.
But in truth, you're just sliding.
In the reality, it's already there, and it's not a 1, 2, 3. It's blocked.
Oh, this is 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Exactly.
But it's this. I throw it there. This is just one.
Boom.
This is one.
Why don't you just get it at the back?
It can, but here. There's different ways of applying it. If I throw a straight punch, right, and I trap, and here's that other hand coming up the block.
You just have
your other hand. I already got this trap. You can't do anything with this.
Yeah.
Right? So here. That's when I roll it. Depends. Because then I could do this. Watch this. I lead, bang. I slap, bang. Block, and I trap that again. There it is.
Nice.
So that's some of the.
No, but that's already doing the 1, 2 of the Kung Fu a little bit.
Yes.
A little bit also.
Yes.
Shit, I wish you guys had seen that, man. That was good.
Right?
Yeah, got that.
Anyway, we have those elements in there. So get back to the backyard training. Sometimes it was me, I had this roommate, and we trained together with our teacher. Sometimes it was just me and him. And this was early 90s. My advantage to being a dancer.
Wait, this is during Conan or your MJ days?
Prior to my, a little bit
just
during
so
my MJ days, but prior. We're talking 90 to 94 was like my hardcore time of training before I got super busy with the industry. So I had a lot of time to train.
4 years.
Like religiously.
4 years, yeah.
Like religiously.
Well, and when you train in all, MMA was not that big.
It wasn't that popular yet.
Exactly. It was just us crazy fucks who just loved Bruce Lee and Kung Fu. That we were digging deeper. But at this time, what was available? That's my question.
Well, coming from a mixed martial arts system already, when I say mixed martial art, we're talking about different styles incorporated into one. Okay.
Okay.
So my base system is a Hawaiian hybrid style that is geared specifically for street fighting.
Which is called
Kaju Kenbo.
Kaju Kenbo.
Ka, karate, Ju,
Jiu-jitsu.
judo, Ken's kenpo.
Kenpo.
Bo is boxing.
Wait, Kenpo is mostly sticks, right?
No. Kenpo karate.
Kenpo karate. Sorry,
Yes.
not
Kenpo
Shotokan.
karate,
is
not
what-
Shotokan.
Okay.
Although there's some history within the Kaji Kenbo family now that's coming to the forefront.
Anyway,
it is
okay,
what it is.
didn't know that.
So the bow was originally Chinese boxing,
Oh, not so
right? But we had a lot of senior practitioners who were into Western boxing
good. That's
and
good.
Filipino dirty boxing.
That's better.
So that was also
That's better.
incorporated into our training system. Now, my grandmaster specifically is Mark DeCostos' father, Al DeCostos,
Ah.
who, from my knowledge, is probably the one who gave Kaji Kenbo its recognition, because he was the, other than Bruce Lee, at the time, he was the Kung Fu guy who got in the tournaments and fought to show that he could fight.
So Mark Dacascos' father is that big of a deal?
Dude, Al
Really?
DeCostos is a legend, man.
I know Mark, but then I didn't know that it stretched back as far as his father.
His dad is dope.
It's like-
His dad is dope.
He would compete?
Yeah. I think in one of the later 70s polls, he was in the top 10 in the United States.
Top 10 fighters?
Top 10 fighters and forms.
Wow. And form.
And forms. And weapons.
What would he represent? If
He
he's-
represented, okay, whenever he did forms, he did Kung Fu forms.
Kung Fu
So more
forms.
flowy,
Yep.
you know,
More-
more continuous as opposed to where you saw
Snaps.
the Taekwondo or Karate, they would snap
Yeah.
and stop and
Stop.
hold that pose.
Yeah, exactly.
Kung Fu is just
Flowy.
continuous,
Yep,
right?
yep.
So he would do those in the forms. But when he fought with more of a Kempo.
Because you have to. Because that's one of my. I love Kung Fu. Grew up on it. But that's one of the things when you're fighting, like in a mixed martial arts arena. Some of it's not safe. Like what we just discussed with the stance. It's not really. I would if I were because I also train and whatnot. I would always fight in a boxing stance where I'm switching my shoulders
Yes, yes.
instead of my Kung Fu stationary, my front chest up in your face.
Right.
You know.
Which is, you know, where you get caught up between tradition and evolution.
Ooh, I love that.
If you think about,
I love how you just
if
put
you
that.
think about like Lyoto Machida, right?
Yep.
They always talk about his traditional background in karate.
Karate.
But when you see him bounce, it's more the JKA, Japanese Karate Association style.
Mm-hmm.
When they're doing this bounce, if you watch some of the YouTube tournament stuff,
Uh-huh.
JKA stuff, I love their format because in order for you to score, it's got to be a clean hit. It's got to be a good technique. Even your feet have to be planted a certain way in order for it to score.
Mhm.
So it stays in the traditional sense that way. Because as we know, while stances are good for development of muscles and all this stuff, they're actually transitional,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're moving from one position to another.
Plus the transference of your weight to your punch. Will
Yes, right?
The strength will
It
matter.
could be, like, again, we're talking a forward bow stance, right? In our system, we call it a glass bow.
Oh!
Shit! My bad.
The tower of helmets just fell. Leave it. It's cool. I'll clean it up later, man.
So, if we go to a forward stance,
Uh-huh.
that transference from, let's say, you're kind of in a half cat
Uh-huh.
or, you know, a medium cat stance, and as you shift forward to a forward stance, you're using that
The
momentum
weight,
to
yep.
deliver that
And the weight.
forward
It's
and
the
hit.
weight that's pushing
Right?
it. Yeah.
So a lot of people have forgotten how to teach the purpose of stances in function.
Uh-huh.
They're just using it as part of their warm-up, right? And you need
Because that you do when you shift your weight, it does loosen you up a lot.
right. You and you know anybody who's worth their salt as a martial artist who has either been tested physically on the street, an altercation of some sort, will tell you that street fighting isn't pretty.
It's not pretty. You
Right.
use everything you can throw,
Right.
and everything you can fucking scrape his fucking arm off or
Right.
whatnot. It's ugly.
So when we're trying to apply it to mixed martial arts now,
Mm-hmm.
mixed martial arts in one respect has shown that a lot of traditional fighting techniques won't work in the ring, right? But in the other sense, they fight by rules now, right? So you can't groin kick.
Yes.
You can't eye poke.
Which is a big of Jeet Kune Do if you
think about any of those parts of your body that can trigger some kind of unbalance, if you will. Imagine, like, for example, they say you can't hit to the back of the head.
Which is kind of, I get that. That's
right?
It's lethal, man.
It's lethal, right? So if you hit that occipital lobe, it causes a jarring. Your brain shakes around.
That's the knockout.
But a street
Concussion.
fight, you're allowed to do that.
Fuck yeah!
Right? So,
and you're allowed to bite. Biting is
let's
a
use
bitch.
This example. We see it both happen with accidental eye poke or a groin kick by mistake. Bam! And what happens to those guys? They either drop and right away they disengage from the fight. Right? Or the guy gets accidentally thumbed in his eye. He stops.
Yeah.
So guess what happens in the street fight?
You push on,
if
man.
I poke you in the eye, and your reaction as an MMA fighter is always, "Oh, he poked me in my eye." I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're done.
Ref, he poked me in the eye.
Right.
No such thing,
There's
man.
no such thing.
No such thing. Just to steer it back to cinema and whatnot, action scenes.
Okay.
Given that we've discussed all these like practical applications of martial arts and whatnot, what are your pet peeves? Because I got some pet peeves when it comes to action specifically. Because before I finish this question, just a little bit of backtrack on the way we were talking the other day. You don't really do the kung fu hand brawling fight scenes. You do action scenes.
That's not my thing. There was a time where that's what I loved, right? But we're also talking what's the genre, the specific genre within the action itself. I don't mind so much because it's necessary when telling the story. If it's something like what was the one where they're flying through the trees?
Crouching Tiger?
Crouching Tiger.
Yeah.
That's specific to that. It's a wuxia film.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's okay. But if we're taking it into the modern world and we're trying to make it look realistic, what if Jason Bourne and whoever he was fighting
started flying on trees?
Not just that, but in a moment that they were fighting, boom, he strikes a martial arts pose. Wouldn't that be stupid?
Yeah.
It's so... It's too pretentious.
We're in an era that it depends on the kind of story you're telling.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it depends on the story. So it's,
but my question is, what's your pet peeve that... imagine you're watching a movie and then you see the scene and you're like, come on, that's not how it really happens. That's one example. Like after Jason Bourne kicks his ass, he does a pose. Give me one. I'm sure you have one. That's why I asked.
This is not knocking the movie. I'm just saying this is an opinion.
Okay, that's what we want to hear, man.
Did you see Raid 2? The Raid 2?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Right. So Iko Uwais,
which you don't really respect as much as I thought you would. Surprisingly.
At the end of the day, maybe initially I was okay. That's entertaining. Then I watched it again. I realized just for myself.
Too many knees to the back.
It's Hong Kong action.
But I love it still. I'm still not tired of it. That much I admit. Okay, so what's your scene? What's your scene?
So remember the second one.
Yep.
Right?
Building, right?
Yeah, he's fighting his way to the building. He's kicking all these guys'
asses.
Bam, 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 bam. And all of a sudden, he meets the main dude in the kitchen. Right? And they look at each other, and they extend their hands out.
Oh, yeah, that's
posing.
Cool. That's still cool.
They're posing,
okay.
and then they shuffle their way in, and then they start their fight. I'm like, it took me out of the element.
That's true.
So
no, but that's just one. What I'm talking about is like a common, like how they get hit, or like what the moves that. I'll give you my example just so it's clear. Right. Like when they do this god awful, like a jackknife kick that's supposed to land on a person's face.
So you're talking about a flashier move.
Like I don't know what you call that. Like when you do like a flash kick, but then you're gonna end up hitting him in the head with like
Tony Jaa has done.
Exactly.
Okay.
He does that in everything that Tony Jaa does. That's the only thing that he's the only move that I'm like, that doesn't. Does it? Are you convinced that that shit? I mean,
Let's take it in context.
visually, yes, it works.
Let's take it in context. Do you think it'll work for you?
No.
It will.
Well, it's gonna function like an axe. Like I'm not going to see that coming, or like as a finishing move.
And I'm gonna take this. I'm assuming because you haven't been exposed. I've seen capoeiristas nail people.
No, but that's different. That's different. Capoeira, because their movement, their leg movement is in circular motion, so you get confused. That's the point of capoeira. You get confused where the limb is going. But I'm talking about like my knockout punch is like that.
Yeah. Right. So that's creative license.
Exactly. So what's your like that? What's your pet peeve?
Depends.
Depends. But I guess the raid example is a good example.
It depends again on what's the story you're trying to show. A fight is not just a fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a visual that supports the story.
Of course.
Right? And the fight itself should tell a story. Right? There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. How do they get into it? What's the protagonist trying to overcome? What's his arc? How does it end? Right?
Okay.
So, if you think about movies in general, oftentimes you remember the beginning and the end. Right? What happened in the middle? Only points you go, oh, remember that scene, remember this scene, remember that scene. Fights are very much the same way. So, if you want your fight to be dynamic and have this, oh man, that was just so badass. What was that finishing move that killed the guy?
Yeah. No, in that sense it works.
Yeah. So, my own personal take on martial art movies, I don't knock it for those people that like that.
I love them. I'll tell you.
I'm okay with it. I think that there's some extremely gifted choreographers out there that can work that shit awesome.
Name us like two.
There's this one guy named Tim Mann. YouTube him and just watch him work out. Now the thing about it with Tim Mann.
Look that up, guys.
The thing about with Tim Mann is that he can do it. When you see him working on the bag, he's spin kicking and so many different, really just cool ass moves. But then you want your actor to do it, and he may not be able to pull off the choreography, right? So now you need assisted wires or all this other stuff, right? So that's an example. Tim Mann is a great fight choreographer. Larnell Stovall.
Larnell
Stovall.
Darnell?
Larnell. Yeah.
Larnell Stovall.
He's the one who did the movies with
Scott Adkins.
It's
It's my boy. I love. Have you ever met Scott Adkins?
I haven't.
Haven't.
But
He's
I've
a
worked
cool cat.
I've worked with a lot of the guys that have been in Scott's movies.
He seems like a cool
Isaac
cat.
Florentine, right? Directed, I think 2 and 3.
Who?
Isaac Florentine, the director of what was the name of those movies?
Ice-T?
Scott
Which
Adkins
one?
movies.
Ninja?
No, the one when he's fighting everybody in kind of blood sport style.
Yeah. I know.
But Isaac
Boyka?
Yeah, he's playing Boyka, right?
He's playing Boyka, but what's the title of it? Undisputed?
Undisputed.
There you
so
go.
Undisputed 2 and 3.
Yep.
Right? I'm not sure if he did Boyka 4. So Isaac Florentine used to be a director for Power Rangers.
Nice.
So he goes way back when. You know, so
Okay.
he brings that, and he's a martial artist himself. So he brings all that experience into what he's been doing with the Undisputed movies.
Nice.
Right? But for me, we're talking. I'm a very story-driven guy. Whether it doesn't matter what genre it is. If the story's good, if the acting's good. You know, sometimes it doesn't have to be a serious movie. Take for example the Austin Powers movies. You know what I mean? Mike Myers.
Of course I know it, but I'm thinking about like in terms of action. Is that what?
No, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be action.
But
if the story is good, if the acting is good, it doesn't matter.
No, but then that's not your department. Your department is like the action department.
See, that's the mistake that people make. They think I'm just the action guy. I look at it from the director's perspective. Does this fight support the story? I'm just not going to do action for action's sake. I'm not going to have a guy flip out of nowhere, and that's not what he does.
I get it. But speaking of your vision, man, let's get into the stuff you've recently been working on, man.
Okay.
Now we can talk about it, I think.
Yep.
BUYBUST, baby.
All right.
There's been rumbles, clips on YouTube, I think, here and there about BUYBUST.
A teaser was released.
A teaser was already released.
Yeah.
You've been working on this for 3 years, but
Not 3 years.
So
We started
a year. A year.
We started planning in December. We started shooting late
December.
March.
Late March. So the time.
The other one that you're thinking about is that one that we're on.
Yeah. Which we can't talk about yet, but it's also an Erik Matti masterpiece, man. Tell us how it is that you got connected with Matti and your work on BUYBUST.
Okay. Let's start with me seeing Matti's movie on the job.
To those who don't know, BUYBUST, just look it up. There's a teaser that you can look up. Okay.
Yeah.
Going back, BUYBUST. On the job, you saw him. You
I
met
saw
him
on the job. 2012. I loved the story. I loved the acting. And
is it a big? I haven't seen it. I have to confess, but I've heard
it's not a big action movie, but there's a lot of good suspense and drama in it.
Does it separate itself from the pack of? I apologize if I'm gonna sound dizzy when it comes to Filipino movies, pero pagdating kasi sa mga Pinoy na sine, medyo malayo pa. For me, malayo pa.
It is a departure in the sense of the international audience got it.
Yep, that's what I heard.
That's what I heard. A Filipino-centric theme that no other culture
can relate to.
They got it.
Exactly.
And that's
what I heard.
That's what happens with Filipino movies and TV series in general.
Yep.
If they aren't copying something from another country, they're doing their own thing, which is typically poverty porn. Everybody's always poor and struggling, or they tend to lean toward rom-coms that are so tacky, right?
Yep.
And they say they do it for the masa.
Yeah, they do.
But you know what? The Philippines has a very intelligent movie audience.
That's why.
Why do you think they watch Hollywood and
exactly.
European movies?
We have the Philippines. Well, I have a friend who works for Disney here in the Philippines. Well, the distribution company of Disney here in the Philippines. And she would post shit like how much like Thor earned for Disney just here in the Philippines. Like specifically for Thor, because that was her most recent post. She something like $70 million or some shit like that just for the Philippines. Yeah, some shit like that. It's like big. It's the biggest opening of Marvel here in the Philippines ever.
Okay.
So that tells you something, man. It may be. It's not just people usually think it's just because it's Thor. No, because they appreciate good fucking movies.
Let me touch upon this. Before I came here to see you, I wanted to beat the traffic coming from Makati, so I said I'm gonna go watch a movie over here at Gateway. And I went to watch this movie called Wonder.
Ooh, I heard it's good.
Right? It's all in English. It's all white people. It's well, there's one black guy in there, but it's an American-made movie.
It is.
It's a story that has a universal theme.
Dude, packed.
I bought the last seat.
Wow.
It's a 4:50 show.
Wow.
What does it tell you about the audience going to watch something that they're really interested in?
Exactly.
You know? And here's the sad thing. There's probably, and I'm sure there are, not probably, there is so many gifted writers here.
Oh,
who can come up with some wicked stuff.
Shit, yeah.
But do they have the ends?
You're talking one, man.
Do they have the ends? No.
Exactly.
Because the networks, the powerful networks here, work in-house. They have their own people, and then if it's not within-house, it's someone that they know who happens to be a relative.
That's
so
true.
Quite
a bit nepotistic. Yeah.
Very nepotistic.
Here's my question. So if I had a good script,
how would you sell it?
Exactly. How would you be my boy? How would you? Let's say you like it. You like the script. How would you sell it?
Let's say it's you.
Yeah. That's an example. It's me. I have a script.
You have a script. I'm in to a certain degree.
Because you believe in it. Let's say you believe in it. You like it. You like the theme. It's just a general thing.
I go to my contacts and I go, I got a script. Is this something you're interested in? Well, give me your selling points. This is what it is. Here's your synopsis. Here's your story.
Who are these people? Like local cats or cats in
local.
the States?
Local production.
Local production.
Local production. My partners, Black Ops Studios. Where was it in Nilalang? Right? We got some movies coming up, 2018.
Yeah, we'll go back to BUYBUST in a while after when you answer this.
So, they're young, they're forward thinking, they're just not thinking Philippines. They're thinking global.
Yeah.
Right? My association with Matti is also based on that premise. Matti sees Philippines industry being global. And in order to do that, it's got to be a theme that everybody understands. Our experience from joining the American film market and the Hong Kong film market, this is where movie filmmakers try to find distribution, for theaters worldwide. There's one company based in Canada, and their rep came over to the Filipino conglomeration of producers and filmmakers trying to sell their stuff at the Hong Kong film market. The only people that they were really talking to was Black Ops. Nilalang. Because while it was Filipino made, it wasn't Filipino centric. You know? Yep, sword fighting. It was a cop movie. It was like this.
Which one had the sword fighting?
Nilalang. It's the one with Maria Ozawa.
Shit, I haven't seen that.
You gotta watch it.
My bad.
You gotta watch it. So they loved it. But for one thing, it's genre. It's horror. It's horror action. Right? So it's genre film. And that sells. When you start to go into these, what the indie community would say here is these kind of art house kind of movies. Right? It's like
drama.
The director's vision. And the director goes, I'm just expressing myself, but no one else gets it. Those are hard sells. You know what I mean?
It's a Cannes Festival thing, or I don't know, like an indies.
Kind of, yeah.
That's their circuit. That's the thing that I've seen, or Sundance, or what.
That's the dilemma that exists here. There's this thing, a separation between what indie world is and what commercial world is. The indie people are thinking it's got to be artsy fartsy.
Yeah.
And if it sells and it's too familiar with people, it's too commercial, it's lost its indie feel.
Yeah.
You know, that's what their mentality
is.
And then the commercial people say, well, yeah, it's artsy fartsy, might be shot well, but there's no monetary value.
I was about to say that. How the fuck do you make dough from that?
Yes. So there, you can be indie and make a commercially viable film. You can be commercial and make a great indie film. That's how the States did it, right? So first there were these indie houses, and then the big studios were realizing that we're not putting out too many good movies, content-wise, quality-wise. Let's say we'll distribute for them, or we'll buy the company, and now they're a part of the big studio. Like, what was the one company, Cinema?
Here?
No, this is in the States. They did the Ninja Turtle movies. New Line.
New Line Cinemas, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So New Line Cinema was a studio. And then I think they developed their own indie department called Fine Line or something like that. I forget the name. So now
that's their extra arm to do the indie shit.
Right. Indie feel.
Okay.
Because it's really not indie. It's backed by the studio.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
Indie just means that you didn't rely on the studio
on the man.
That's all it really means.
Exactly.
Right?
Independent, self-produced.
That's what it really means.
Yep.
That's all it means. So yeah, it's a weird world where movie making is concerned. Everybody wants to make movies and make money. I mean, it's fine to express yourself, and if you have the money yourself, great. But if you want to continue doing it, your stuff has to be profitable.
Yeah, but let's talk about you working on BUYBUST.
Okay.
And its profitability.
Okay.
I think it's got a universal theme with like action. from the title, I'm guessing it. Well, I know it's an action movie because you're there. Plus, we got Brandon on board and Anne on board. You showed me some of the clips, and it's really action heavy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you told me something that really struck me the last time when we were in that meeting. Right. You told me that it's not releasing here in the Philippines first. Right. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
That it's releasing abroad first. So, you think it could swim those shores? That it could swim with
yes.
a Hong Kong
let's go
shit
back
that's
to,
coming out into Thai.
This is tied into distribution and genre, right? So most of these distributors, when they're selling lower budgeted movies, they have to use something of reference to say this is the kind of movie we want. And when it comes to action, there's two movies that everybody wants: The Raid and John Wick.
Which are almost essentially the same, but yeah, I get it. I get
in
it.
a certain way, but
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So John Wick isn't classified as a martial arts movie.
Yeah, but it's
Right?
got mad skills too.
But martial arts elements are in there.
And there a lot.
But it's
Yeah.
called an action movie.
Yep.
While The Raid is very specific, showing
It's still an action.
martial arts, it's an action movie. But guess what? Just because it's from Asia, automatically gets lumped in with martial arts.
Yeah.
So even a lot of people regarding BUYBUST have already lumped BUYBUST into being a martial arts movie, and it's not.
Well, plus you got Brandon Vera, the truth on the fucking.
Well, yeah, Brandon's of course known for his MMA stuff.
Exactly.
Right? But if you look at what MMA is, and Brandon's abilities, I even would pick his mind. Sometimes I get stuck in a part of choreography, and I go, Brandon, show me a practical move. What would you do from here to that? That works in reality, but maybe we can make it a little cinematic in some sense. If you were going to throw somebody, pick them up and slam them, how would you do it? Because, well, there's this one move, I go, let's use that. You know what I mean? And that was a funny scene. We'll come back to that. But when you have Anne, who trained months with the Kali guys, you know, and everybody else in the cast who either had...
Which I gotta give her props for. You've been... Give her some props, man. Give her a shout out on how hard she's been working on it.
I'll tell you, thus far, this is the most professional cast I've worked with. Anne is a trooper, man. She's committed to her character. For her, the Rogue magazine is out.
Haven't seen that.
With Anne on the cover, and they came to cover a story the one night that we were shooting that one really, you know,
crazy scene. Give us a little taste. When you say crazy scene?
When I say crazy, it's already out in the magazine. So I think I'm allowed to say it.
Okay.
It's a one take thing.
Ooh, yeah. Tell me about this.
So ever since Old Boy, right, did that scene, that's been the thing. So what was the next one taker that everybody's been gushing over?
Daredevil, I would say.
Daredevil, and then what? Recently, movie-wise.
One take?
Yep. Even though it's not really one take.
Which one?
Atomic Blonde.
Oh, haven't seen that.
Go
Should see it though.
Go watch Atomic Blonde.
Really? It's got a kick-ass like 3 minute or like a long take.
It's a long fight scene, but you could. Well,
there's some cuts.
For those that are in the know, you see when the double steps in. You see when there's a wipe on the camera, and then you know that's.
I look for that.
Cut, you know.
I look for that.
So, stuff like that.
So you think this one holds a candle to that?
This is a real one take.
Wow.
One take.
Dang.
You know. So Anne was up for the challenge, man. If the girl, I honestly believe, and Matti also mentioned it. If we didn't have Anne to do that scene, we don't think that there's any other actors here in the country that can pull it.
Really?
Well, you know, she runs marathons, right?
Yeah.
She's got that endurance.
No, plus the footwork, the hand. I don't know the scene,
yeah,
but I would imagine.
Part of the training that she received, she understands that it's hard work. She understands it's very physical work. You know, and she's not afraid to get dirty. When I say dirty, she's not afraid to fucking wreck when she has to. She's not afraid to slide when she has to.
Nice.
You know? Originally, there
could she though? She's got good body control.
She's got
I'm guessing.
She's got it. She's got great control. I I don't think she's clocked anybody on set where she actually smacks somebody. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Brandon has.
Seriously?
Well, you know, part of that is Brandon goes, I'm so used to hitting this way, I gotta feel it. You know what I mean? I said, bro, 6 inches from the face, man. 6
inches from the
but
face? That's far.
Brandon still has great control. You know?
He should.
He knows just enough when to clip somebody so they can feel it. As a stuntman, I like the contact. It gives me a natural reaction to go off of, as opposed to, oh, he didn't hit me, but I still gotta make it look like he did. You know, of course, there are certain instances where you don't hit, like if it's a face punch. You know, it's gonna stop right here.
It should.
I'm gonna go like that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Camera's over here. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, Anne is a committed actress, and I think with the limitations she was given as far as the material she's had to work with in previous movies, it didn't give her the opportunity to show her range of acting. She is a serious actor.
No, a serious actor is one thing, but skill-wise, I've seen her. She's convincing. Don't get me wrong, but what I mean is, the willingness and what you can really bring to the table are two different things. You think she's got both?
She does.
Chops?
She sells it. Absolutely, she sells it. You know, part of it is the material I'm giving her for the physical side. The other side is what's the motivation that Erik feeds her. This is what your character's feeling in this moment. You know, where has your character gone from the beginning of the movie? Now you're in the middle of this. Where are you heading to after this? So it gives her emotional content, right? A fight isn't just always, you're angry, I am angry, let's beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like,
you killed my master.
Yeah. Feels good, huh? You know?
You killed my master.
What's the context of the story?
Yeah.
Are you being defensive? Have I caught you off guard? Are you afraid to kill me? At what point does your character switch gears and go, it's self-preservation, I got to take this MF out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those elements that are missing from martial arts movies because it's all about the you know,
grab, block, punch, and then throw you into the wall and whatnot.
Yeah. So you know, I'm caught between the rock and a hard place. As a choreographer, I can appreciate the time, the effort, the skill it takes to do long master shot takes of 20 plus moves, which is what you got with the Hong Kong wuxia stuff, right?
Which I love. I don't know. I know some of it's like impractical, but it's just visually amazing.
It's cool. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying there was a time in my life where that was the shit, right?
Yeah,
and now I've moved into a different realm of let's make this real.
Got it. Speaking of making it real, man, this is the question I've been wanting to pose to you. Let's say I'll play my genie exercise. I call it the genie. Well, I just came up with that now. Let's say I'm your genie, man.
All right.
And you got one wish when it comes to Philippine cinema and where you could bring it.
Yeah.
Like if I were a genie, okay, you have, but it's got to make sense. The wish has to make sense. It has to be, well, it's up to you. Just one wish for Philippine cinema. Where do you want it? What would it be? I won't put any more.
For Philippine cinema specifically.
In your role, if you were, because all of us, like I know, I've known you for almost like a little over a year and whatnot, and been loving your posts and I've been a follower of your shit. You have visions and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So, as a leader, like, what would be your one wish if you could change or do something to this industry, as you, or to see some things change? What would that one wish be?
I would
too
like.
hard?
And it's coming to fruition with BUYBUST specifically.
I know, that's why I love
right?
it. It was a wish when we were talking about it last.
It's to show the world that the local industry has the capability to hang with everybody else, given the proper preparation, training, rehearsals, and production.
Just so there's a a benchmark, a focal point.
Yeah.
When you say training, rehearsals, and previous, give us. And you've worked on Hollywood films for sure, right?
Yeah.
What's the idea? Let's say for this question, let's say, what's the ideal that in the way in terms of how the States does it?
Okay.
In time, in relation to time, compared to, we're not talking about budget, just the time and the investment of effort and practice and whatnot there in the States compared to your experience of them doing it here. Like, how can you make that better?
There's budget does play into it in this sense.
Okay. Because of time and
because of time.
Yeah.
Time means money.
Yeah, yep.
Right. So once your actor goes into training, that means that they're on the clock.
Of course. The moment they step on set, everyone, even the extras and whatnot, everyone's meter is running. You know.
But we're talking not even being on set. We're talking them rehearsing. We're talking about them training.
Oh yeah.
They're already getting paid.
Yep.
They don't get that here.
Fuck.
They don't get that here. It's
just for context.
Yeah.
Like a 30-second fight scene. How long would you rehearse for that in the States, and how long do they rehearse it here? And I know some of them it's on the fly. You told me it's on the fly. How can
that depends? Can budget wise?
No, just for take budget out of context first.
I have to say budget wise because like this, you have your very high budget movies and you have your very low budget movies. If it's a high budget movie, that means they're gonna have the money to spend on training and right.
How long would that take? How long would that take?
Oh gosh.
30 seconds. 30-second time limit.
To film or to rehearse and coach?
No. 30 seconds on screen.
Like, shoot.
Yeah.
Depends. How difficult is it?
Too many factors.
Right? Are there wires involved? Right? Okay, I'll give you an example. The shootout for Olympus Has Fallen. When we break through the gate, now this is before all the interior stuff, we're just talking the exterior. Okay? We rehearsed 1 week.
1 week.
We shot 1 week.
You shot one? Wow, I can imagine how expensive. And when you say shoot, it's a
film. You're
seven. I know. But then time-wise, 7. I know what shoot means, bro.
They don't.
Okay.
Who's listening?
Just to show. Okay.
We just talked Olympus Has Fallen, and I'm saying
maybe they react shooting. That's confusing.
When we filmed.
When you're filming, like the hours are from 7 to what?
That's depending too.
Specifically for
if it's
Olympus.
A day shot.
Specifically for Olympus Has Fallen.
Okay. That means we got to use daylight. Because it's all
7 to 5.
Sun up, sun down. At what point, right, is the natural light good for us to shoot?
Like for Olympus, how long was the daylight?
Sun up to sun down.
There at 7, leave at 6?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Longer, because we were in summer.
Ooh, longer days.
We're finishing
7 to 7. Oh.
Yeah.
Same for a week.
For a week.
That shot took a week.
Yep.
How long was that shot? That was like 10 seconds. Okay.
No, it's probably a good 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh wait, yeah, this is where they're coming in when you're shooting.
Blow up the gate.
I apologize, I'm confusing it with White House Down a little bit. It
Sorry,
does get confusing.
Olympus blew White House Down away.
It got sequels.
Yeah.
White House did not. But I remember that was the scene when you're like.
Yeah, we're all coming in. We're shooting at the Secret Service. And
yeah.
You know, and again, that's one of those situations where you're working with so many of your friends. It's a pleasure to do that.
Sure.
And when you're working with pros, you know, everybody's put their time in. We're experienced. We know what we need to do. We clown. We have fun. But when it comes time to play, we're serious.
For sure.
You know, and everybody knows what they have to do. So it's not like, unfortunately here, in my circumstance, I have a lot of stunt people that are used to doing old-style Filipino action movies. So when they come to work with me and I'm asking them to do something...
Explain to the people what Filipino action style do you mean. You know what? I apologize kung may masaktan or whatnot. We're just calling spades spades.
Right.
We're trying to make the world a better place. Specifically, the Philippines a better industry when it comes to making movies.
Yes.
That's why Sonny is going to give you the tight and skinny. It may hurt. We apologize if it does hurt, but it's real.
But I'm sure that
Learn something.
right?
Yeah.
For those of you that are listening to this, you guys know already. You watch Hollywood movies.
Compared to it doesn't hold up.
Right. So, okay, let's use one example. I call it the Filipino death. Right? That is someone gets punched or someone gets shot, and as opposed to just getting hit and dropping, which would naturally happen in the real world. They want to prolong this death scene or the pain in their face, and then they fall down. And then they also do this. Sometimes the reaction is great. They get punched, or they get shot, and they fall. Boom! But then they have this lazy leg that flops up in the air, and it goes...
the thump.
Right,
That's
so
not
it's
how
like,
it goes.
Bang!
And we were
you see that foot just go like this. And you know what? Even the most experienced guys here, guys that have been working since the late 70s, they still do it. And I'm like, so-and-so, don't do that, man. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Then we show him in the camera, and he goes, oh, I didn't realize I was doing that.
All these fucking years.
Yeah, right? So my task is to get people caught up, right? There's a little bit of resistance, especially from the old-timers. With them, they've been working so long, and some have been working longer than I have, right? So they're like, what am I going to learn from you? Is their thinking, right?
Yep.
So beyond the goal of getting Philippine cinema global recognition, I want international productions to go, let's go shoot in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
So when that happens, I got to call these guys. And I go, hey man, it's time. Let's show
represent
these people what we can do. And all of a sudden, what if I hold an audition and 20 out of 40 people go, ugh. And dude, production's gonna go, hey, I think we need to move to Thailand. You know? I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. And I hope some of you veteran stunt people are listening to this. For those of you on the local scene. If you don't get with the program, and I'm not just saying what I'm doing, come to my stunt workshops and learn from me. I'm just talking about basics. If you guys don't get caught up, it's this new wave of young blood that people aren't even in the industry, but they're hungry. So they want to learn the now. They're going to be taking your jobs, man. You know? So you got to pull out. Dude, on my stunt workshops, I've had people not even in the business come to tape because they wanted to learn something.
Just to know. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I had a chef. I had a school teacher. I had an engineer. I had the chef's mom. Came to train.
Invite people to your workshops. Any workshops upcoming?
I have one more for the year, December 16th.
December 16th.
5 to 9 p.m. at Ninja Academy.
Which Ninja Academy?
There's only one now.
Ooh, the close the other one?
Yep. So the one that used to be in Pasig next to Gymnastica, and then had another one in Paranaque.
Which
There's
one
only
closed?
one. That's a Circulo Verde behind Eastwood.
But that was my dojo, man. The one in Pasig, the one with the
Gymnastica, right?
Gymnastica. Yeah.
You just have the one.
I loved going there, man. Shout out to my boys in Ninja Academy.
But
it's expensive though. That's my complaint.
Not that expensive.
It's 500 per sesh, bro.
Is it? I don't know.
So exactly, you probably get it from because I had to because I loved parkour was something I wanted to get into with the whole because every time there's something new, I got this Bruce Lee mentality in my head. Anyone new? Let's try your shit out. You know, that's my mentality. That's why I checked them out. I love their shit because my body ached and I work out like regularly, man.
Yeah.
But they're like muscles and shit that fucking
for sure
works. That fucking free running works out.
Yeah,
it's awesome. So
well, in a shout out to Ninja Academy, they are partners with us.
Nice.
We are partnered. Black Ops. My own stunt group.
Who do we look for in Ninja Academy specifically?
For training?
Training or whatnot to talk to?
The owner is Raven Solar. Raven is the owner.
You want some ice in that?
Okay. This is good. Raven's the owner. And he's a very forward thinker too. You know, I did my first... I've done 3 stunt workshops so far. I think I did my first one maybe a month and a half ago. Right? And... we plugged it just pretty much on Facebook.
How many attendees do you get? If
40. 40
Oh,
plus.
yeah.
On the average of the first 2 times we did it, we had around 40 people. That's great. That's a great
turnout.
Right? But out of that 40, we probably had 12 working stunt people come.
People who just wanted to.
People who work in the industry
Who just
but
wanted
wanted
to
to come
learn.
to the workshop to. I don't get super complex. I want to go over basics with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
'Cause it's a workshop. It's not like it's not a.
No, it's not.
Course.
It's an all levels kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's one to assess people's ability,
Mm-hmm.
and the other side is what they need to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you can't do basic, but you want to do advanced, like martial arts,
Exactly.
you want to do a 540 kick, but you can't even do an inside crescent kick. Yet?
Not
Same
gonna
thing.
happen. Yeah.
Same thing, right? So I'm trying to get these people to see the necessity of breaking the reputation that stunt guys have here. And that is, directors always tell me, stunt guys are stunt guys because they can't act.
Ooh, did
And
they
I'm
say
like,
that here?
But it's deep.
It's deep. Exactly.
The industry in general, worldwide, think that way. They're great with the physical acting, but if you tell them to give it some kind of emotion, they don't know how to do it. You tell them to give them lines, they can't act. But one thing that I was trying to emphasize with everybody is that when you're a stunt guy, you are an actor. You are a performer.
Yeah.
So think beyond just the physical action of it.
Think beyond. I'm gonna fall on the stairs. It's gonna hurt
Right.
on this and that.
Right. So in our last workshop, for example, we were doing I kind of just wanted to see what choices people would make. I said, okay, everybody go to that corner. Jason's going to be here. He has an airsoft gun. I want you to run forward. Full sprint, half sprint. You're a zombie. Whatever movement you have coming forward. He's going to shoot different parts of your body. There's a shoulder shot, a leg shot, a head shot, stomach shot. I want to see what choices you make. What reactions you do. Based on
As a zombie.
As whatever. Could be a zombie, could be a madman, it could be Taliban. Forward, right? What choices do you make based on the stuff that we had worked on? Technically, now I want you to put it into effect. Right? The previous one that we had to that, I broke it up into the groups. I said, okay, everybody come up with the scene and use the fight moves, reactions, and delivery of the stuff that we worked in previously. I want to see what choices you make. So for me, I'm looking at who's the performer.
You're also looking for talent also in
right?
this pool.
I'm looking at their ability. I'm looking at their interpretation. I'm looking at their skill.
Question, because this girl I know, Aya. You've met Aya?
Yeah, Aya's
she
cool.
was. How was she? She's one of my. Shout out to Aya. She's like a good friend in the shows also.
Aya is game. I love Aya.
Yeah, she's got skill.
She does.
Yeah.
But like a beginner, there's a hesitancy to wreck. Boom. You know, and I said it in my last workshop. I said, look, we aren't daredevils. We try to minimize risk. There's risk in what we do, but
a huge risk in what you do. Yeah.
But we're not just doing it for the sake. We're trying to do it the safest we can to minimize the possibility of injury.
Injury, yeah, definitely.
But no, you're gonna get bruised up.
Fuck yeah.
If you're overly confident about something and that nervousness is gone, that's when something can go wrong because you've gotten lazy. Make sense?
Yep, of course. Yeah.
Imagine you are entering a tournament and you don't feel those butterflies, and you just think you go in there cocky.
Got this. Yeah.
Right. You need that nervous energy.
Of course.
Right. And it's
fear
that way
draws
with
the
stunts.
flame.
Yeah. It's not necessarily part of it is adrenaline, but it's not all that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You need that tension. You need that pressure to feel to execute properly. So Aya is game.
Yeah, she's very enthusiastic. She's awesome, man. Met her a couple of times. First met her with a shout out to the Philippine Lightsaber Guild, where I also met the Elric and the boys.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And her boyfriend Jay.
Yeah.
Right. Jay's a good kid. He's got a martial arts background.
Does he? I didn't know that. Probably get him on the show one of these days.
His I don't know if do you know the Ricketts family?
Yeah, definitely.
So, right?
Fuck, those are badasses,
his
man.
uncle is Topher Ricketts.
Fuck it, really?
So he has bakbakan training.
Bakbak, dude. Topher's like fucking.
I grew up in the Philippines.
Oh
man.
hell yeah, man! I grew up in. I'm half Atenean, half Southridge boy. So Southridge boys in the south. So whenever we train there, we'd have the Bakbakan boys like training and whatnot.
Yeah.
And everyone. Topher, fucking Ricketts, the Ricketts family. They know their shit, man. And they're basically like Muay Thai and a lot of jiu-jitsu.
Boxing, Japanese.
Yeah.
Kalisimo. You know, he was blending the arts.
Yep.
Ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, but mostly kickboxing is what I remember.
They did kickbox.
Or maybe it was the time that because I knew I had to work on my kicks when I was working with some of them. Anyway,
Okay.
but yeah, really didn't know that.
So yeah,
Fucking Jay.
Jay has tremendous potential. He's
Needs to lose weight though. Fucker's fat.
He's coming down.
Yeah, is he?
He's been working out.
Nice. Shout out to Jay at Aya, man. If you guys are fucking listening.
You know, he's very skilled in airsoft.
He is.
And tactical movement. You know,
nice.
His group they trained with and competed against military and SAF.
Nice.
You know, so he knows proper movement.
I did not know. I should get that fucker. Because
Our last class, I had him teach proper weapon handling, proper weapon movement.
Nice.
You know how to shift, how to hold a
next time you see him, tell him to get out to go on the show. Because every time I see them, I cover for Tambay TV. I cover like the cons and shit, right? They're my favorites, man. It's always Aya and Jay. They're always like in costume and always game to talk to the camera and say some shit about the event and whatnot. That's why I got. That's my way of like. That's how I get to deal with it.
Jay is somebody I'd like to mentor also, along with Morrow, because they're smart.
Mm-hmm.
Smart in the sense of they see it more than just being the guy in front of camera.
Yeah.
You can be the guy behind the camera.
Yeah.
You know, and that's necessary. That's not to say that people in front of camera are stupid. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the intelligence.
No need to get defensive for the people out there listening.
I'm saying that the intelligence level of what it takes to run something, where you have to put all these elements together to make it work, takes a high level of intelligence to do.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, BUYBUST is an experience that allowed me to really get to know Matti for one, appreciate that there are actors here who are serious about the craft. I don't watch much local television.
Neither do I.
Or movies.
Neither do I.
But when I have,
but if you want to be a fan of Matti's, I shall recommend, and everyone will agree with me on this, Scorpion Nights 2. Yeah. Have you seen that? Look that up. It's one of his raunchy R movies.
Okay.
Booyah, baby.
Okay.
Jerk off material. Oh, did I just say that?
You know, I've had a lot of time in the in the States we call it video village. This is where the monitors are set up so you see what's happening on camera. Here they call it the system. So
the what?
The system.
The system.
You're just in the system. So on days where it's action, I pretty much run the set. You know, I'm calling out what to do. This, that. Erik will interject with, can you change the move, or can you change the angle? Can you add this or that?
Basically, got free reign.
I had a lot of free reign.
Nice.
And I love that. There was one ride home after a meeting, I believe. I asked Erik, could he give me a lift back to my place in Makati? And I said, Derek, hey man, I gotta ask you, is everything that I'm doing okay with does it fit your vision? And he goes, you know, some of it was like, yeah, it gets there, and then some of it I'm like nervous because I don't know where you're going with it. But I trust that you know what you're doing, right? So I said, well,
at least he trusts what you're doing.
But I said, please, if there's anything that I interpret differently or
that's not
wrong,
in your script,
which one, please tell me. You're my director.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't about me. This is about your vision. I'm here to support it. You know, and if I interject with an idea that can elevate your vision, then I'm going to try to attempt it. But don't let me run away with something that's
off the rails
off from what you wanted to do.
No, but what in my impressions of Matti when Erik when we met was that he wants your ideas. He wants the energy of the room to also create something that's different but familiar.
Erik is a great.
He's a coach. That's the way I see it.
I see him as a leader.
Definitely.
A leader who understands the necessity of teamwork.
Yep.
Where he's not going to micromanage every department.
Exactly.
He hires you because he knows that's your specialty. And he's going to supervise. But he's not going to tell you.
Coach. That's
right?
how I see him. Yeah.
He's not going to tell you that's the wrong color blood. Or you're not mixing that blood properly. Something like that. It's not him.
That's not him.
And there are some directors who want their hand in everything. And then that takes away the time the director can be thinking about the movie, the story, Trust your team.
Yeah.
Trust your team. That's what they were hired for.
Exactly.
Right? So, in regard to what he's done with me for the action, I'm so appreciative.
I love your story about you do the action and eat my raw egg.
Yeah. Erik would be like, I can't watch this. Especially with Anne's stuff.
With the what?
When Anne was doing that one take scene, Erik would step away from the monitor. He was like, I'm not going to watch it.
Why? Because it's too risky?
He so much risk. And he didn't want to watch and jinx it. So, pretty much, everybody would step away. I'm the only one in front of the monitor watching everything.
Can you tell us what that was? That specific scene?
That specific scene, it turns into this, what they call Gangs of New York. It's just this chaotic scene.
Pandemonium, right? Shit.
And she's in a slum where she's being pursued.
Is this the rain scene?
Yes. Well, there's like 40 some odd days of rain. So, one of the rain scenes. She's got to try to escape them. She does it. Climbs up roofs, climbs down roofs.
She pulled this shit off.
Rooms, goes back up another roof. And this is close to 3 minutes long, right?
That's long.
In the rain, fighting.
I think is this the one you sent me? That was a rain scene with like going up and down.
20 some odd people. I think so. Yeah. Might have been. Right? So, that was a difficult scene to do.
Yeah.
One take.
But he had full faith in you to do that shit.
He did. What Erik would do is this is the idea I want to convey. He said something during one of the production meetings, that really changed my mind about playing it too safe, and doing something risky and making it safe. If sometimes I thought risky, I would say, can we take that element out of it? Like, just that scene alone, right, was difficult enough as it is. Now Erik wants to put rain in it. I'm like, fuck.
Shit's gonna be slippery, hard to hold on to, and all that.
But during that particular meeting, Erik said, make it work.
Booyah.
Why risk? Why if we're gonna play it safe, why are we doing this?
Exactly.
He said, think about it, guys. Work hard. There should be no excuse to not work hard. I like to say work smart. There's a difference.
Yep.
There's a difference. But it challenged me. Once he said that, it just, it rang a bell in my head. I said, okay, I'm going to try to make this work. So by the time he said, this is the idea that I have, this is the geography, can we do this, can we do that? Then it's time for me to fill in the story. What's cool about it, I think, is that when I do previs, for example, right, there aren't a lot of, I should say for the most part, the industry doesn't know how to shoot action here. The local industry doesn't know how to shoot action here.
Pretty much.
So Erik would give me free rein in that. Camera movement, and then I would confirm.
So it's basically your scene. Listen, even the shots are yours.
The shots are mine. Unless Erik again interjects and says, can I take this angle? Can we use a particular lens? Can we
But it's
change that
mostly
mode?
yours.
It's pretty much mine.
Really free reign.
A lot of free reign.
Yeah,
And then with Neil, the director of photography, we would sit and I said, "Is this possible? Can we do this?"
Was Neil in the room?
Yes, the guy with the long beard.
Yeah.
So
The fellow partaker.
Neil is very young.
No.
Well, not young, but he's got experience. He's very open-minded, so he has his own ideas about something. I might say I want this, and he'll say it doesn't work because of this. I have to listen to his expertise. What can we compromise to get this shot? And he would say this could work. Sometimes I would go use this lens, and he goes, I don't think that's a good idea because this or that. Then I would, he has an app on his phone. This is what it's going to look like on that lens.
Nice.
This is the lens that I think you should use. I go, oh, okay, let's go with that. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to go, no, I want the 50 and nothing but the 50. I got to listen to my boy. He's the one who knows how to run the camera.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? So I got to listen to him. And then sometimes with Erik, Erik would say, I don't think that's going to work because so-and-so. And I have to think about it for a while, and I'll be like, yeah, Direct, you're right. So, again, team effort, while someone you have to have the confidence in it. If you don't think it's going to work,
don't do it.
It's you're setting it up to fail. Right?
Yep.
So we as creatives, we think about the most outlandish, crazy things. And there are people who specialize in making that happen that love the challenge. Right? If you have somebody who's just outright going to say, no, I don't know, you don't want that guy on your team. He's going to bring everybody else down.
Exactly.
Right? Whether it's the stuntman or production design or the VFX guy, if you say outright no without giving it thought to, is it really possible? Is it probable that this can be done? We got to give the optimism before we get negative.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Imagine if technology has caught up now for the ability to pull off a lot of the stuff that we see in these action movies.
Do we have it though?
Especially superhero. Yeah, we have it. But we haven't had the opportunity to exercise it because the material isn't out there for us to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm surprised you're saying that. Really? We're caught up with it?
We have it. Dude, the most skilled Filipino VFX guys, they get recruited by Hollywood.
Specifically, who here has been hired?
There's people that have gone to Weta. Weta is the VFX company in New Zealand.
Yep.
Right? There are people that gone over to Sony, the gaming communities. They're out. They're in we went from the Philippines and they went to the States, or they went overseas.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Aren't they all overseas?
No. There are some brilliant minds here.
Like, in your opinion, for this project that we're doing, the VFX dudes can cut this?
I haven't seen their ability yet, but if you just go off the teaser, they're gonna have to pull up.
Really? Nice.
Right? The way it was edited and the shots that they used, I think that's Matti's vision. Right? The execution of it, how it was edited, and the look of it.
It's all theirs.
Right? Then we come to the end of the movie. You have an erupting volcano, and you have this swoosh of light that flies toward the volcano. And I went, okay, that's Darna. At that point, I go,
oh, can't say that.
That's Darna, right? That's Darna. I kind of went, oh, so all this badass stuff that was happening before with the VFX that finally showed up, I kind of went, doesn't quite match it. That's not to say they can't do it. I think especially because they have Wonder Woman to go off of now.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
When that movie when that teaser came out 2 years ago, right? Technology moves so fast. By the time 6 months comes around, whatever was 6 months ago, it's already obsolete.
That's true.
So,
but even what's obsolete, do we got even what's obsolete? We do.
We have it. We have all the necessary camera equipment to do it. Now, specifically for the project that we got coming up, they don't have the rigging team here.
Told me that. Yeah.
They don't have it. We have to get them from out of the country.
Good. Do we have the budget though?
According to the AP for our project, she told me.
She looks confident about it.
I told her. You know, I said there aren't any companies here capable of the visuals.
Because you want fucking hydraulics and shit.
We need some machines.
Yeah.
And everything here is a hand pull.
See, that's
and again, sadly, it goes back to budget.
Yeah.
We can't afford that.
That's always my
yet.
question. Yeah.
The justification is we're not going to use that in a lot of stuff.
To outsource it somewhere else.
They can.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's not their thinking though. They're thinking about what can I use this for? Well, we don't have 10 action movies to do. So why should I buy that one piece of equipment just for this one scene?
What if other people can come in and use it? You know, from other
should
countries,
be that
right?
way.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It should be that way, and that's why I'm partnered up with Black Ops.
Yeah.
They see, and they also agree with me in the vision.
Mm-hmm.
Once BUYBUST gets out there, once the projects I have going with them, with Breach, and some other movies and projects that we have lined up, even with Nila Lang alone, a lot of distributors and filmmakers from Europe and the US said, "You guys did that for how much?" So they're like, "Shit! If they got that kind of quality, we might go shoot in the Philippines."
Exactly.
And that's our goal. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Number one, get international recognition. Second is bring productions here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because we got the not hearing from you that we got the shit. We got the skills to pay the bills.
We have the ability.
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely.
we have the ability. And I have to interject this also. People think just because we're a developing nation that we come cheap. We come cheaper. We're not cheap. We're not. You know.
Run off the mill.
We're not Kazakhstan or something. But you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That a lot of international productions think that the cost of what it would make to make a movie in U.S. Yes, they're going to get a much better rate here in the Philippines, but don't shortchange the people over here by dictating to them like they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's not cool, man.
That's the part that hurts. That's the part that hurts.
Right?
Plus, you're also insulting your viewing public that, hey, this is the level of effects that you can consume. But these are also people who watch Thor, who watch Justice League. They've seen what good effects and action scenes look like.
Yes.
And the Philippines gives me this just because, what? Why?
I think that budget again.
Exactly.
For one.
No, but you're telling me we can do it.
The other
even
side
with
is the other side
the budget.
But yeah, they can do it, but it's going to cost. And at the end of the day, the powers that be go, why should I spend that much more money when I can make something for this much and make this much? They don't think outside of the country. They only think how much they can make here. Because they're big fish.
Yeah.
Big fish in a small pond.
Yep.
So they don't have to worry about competition. You know who they worry about? Hollywood.
They're not even worried about that.
They are.
They should be.
How can I put my movie into that theater when 5 of the theaters are showing Justice League?
Exactly.
Well, you got to think from the theater owner's perspective and the audience perspective. Why can't I put a Filipino movie in there? Because it's not going to be good and no one's going to want to pay to watch it.
That's how they should be thinking.
They should be thinking. I got to up my production value. I got to up my production level. We have to make our stories better.
Because you hit 2 birds with 1 stone. 1, you earn locally, which is your primary concern. And 2, you get international recognition for the good shit that you've been putting out.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah,
and that's where we talk about in the indie film world, for example, right? There are a lot of people who have seen the potential of what happens in developing nations. City of God.
That was good.
From Brazil, right?
Yeah.
They're like...
Yeah, that was Brazilian, huh?
Yeah, it was Brazil, dude.
Yeah.
All right. The Raid. Indonesia. Thailand. Right? So these
so
movies,
close, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just have to say,
Hong Kong's been at it for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time.
Korean movies are the shit.
That's what I'm surprised to hear from you the last time you said that.
Korean movies are the shit, man.
Man
like
from Nowhere.
they took
I would
the
look
best
that
of
up.
Hollywood and Hong Kong.
Really?
And said, let's put that shit together.
I've seen Train to Busan. That was
Love it.
fucking awesome, man. That Old Boy's so
Old Boy's
great.
good too. But
Yeah.
you look at the quality of their movies. The colors are rich, you know.
That's true.
They're very in tune to
Shot selections too.
Yeah.
The shot selections
right.
are
They study film.
Yeah. The pace is different. It's just the pace. It's different.
They're good storytellers. Koreans
Yeah.
are good storytellers, man.
Visually, because when I watched Train to Busan, I wasn't really reading much of the subtitles. Because I'm always drawing what I'm watching.
Yeah.
But I still got the feel most of it. I got the feel of what they're because of the shot selection and the mood and the music. Everything's coming into play.
That's the point. It's a universally themed thing. If you can feel it internally without having to try to interpret or decipher what's being said, then the visuals have done it right.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee said, "Why do you think they call it motion pictures? It's not called talking pictures. It's called motion pictures."
Things should be in motion.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
In the acting world, many of the great teachers say it's not what you say, it's what you don't say.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
It's the look I give you. It's the small twitch of my shoulder.
And that little head
little
nod. I like that.
If we're having a conversation, right? In order to sell, it's like a fight. In order to sell what you're saying, I have to be paying attention. I can't be thinking, what's my character doing? Unless that's what it's called for, right? But the great acting coaches or teachers will tell you, listen to the conversation. Don't jump his line just because you want to get yours out, unless that's what is called for in the scene. Like when we talk about a topic, for example, you have an idea, you want to try to tell me, and I want to tell, so there's a naturalness to it, right? But if you notice, when you watch a movie, people finish their line, people finish their thought. I just don't go automatic. Boom. Sometimes I have to absorb what's being said and heard to make it real, even though I know what lines are going to come out. Next. Do I absorb it? Do I listen to it? Or am I just going to say it the way I want to say it, but we're disconnected?
Yeah. Got it.
Right?
There's that connection. There has to be that connection to make it authentic.
Yeah. It has to be a real conversation.
Yeah.
So otherwise, a fight is the same way. If I react too early before you have supposedly crossed the line for me to make contact, I'm not listening to you throwing that punch. Right? I got to do the proper reaction in order to sell the speed, the angle, the power. What's the next move after that? The setup for the next move. Right? Same thing. Fighting is more dancing and feeling your partner.
Exactly.
Than
it is contact and all the blood and gore.
Yeah.
Speaking of blood and gore, man, that's all the time we got. We're pushing 2 hours, bro.
Wow.
Can you believe that that's been fucking 2 hours?
Good stuff.
Good stuff, bro. Well, again, before we close this shit, I want to thank you for being here again, bro.
Appreciate you having me.
Thank you so much. Of course, bro. This is one of the best. Truth be told, without promotion and all that shit, our episode was the highest viewed.
The one we did before?
The one we did before.
Really?
Was my highest viewed, at least.
That's
without
cool.
promotions, okay? Because the others, like the videos that we take, we promote those like through Facebook, like pay $500 to whatever, post and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yours got the highest.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, dude. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, man. And plus the hookup, we can't talk about it, but yeah, I'm excited about that as well, man.
Let's just say
he mentioned it already.
you guys already know.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to be that thing outside of BUYBUST and a couple other projects down the line.
Yeah, our goal is to make this fucking awesome as shit.
Yeah, man. And it is, bro.
Hopeful it is. Yeah, it is. It is. I
will
heard
be.
the stories. Yeah.
It will be.
Yeah. Tell them before you go, man. Tell them about your upcoming workshop.
Ah.
Invite them.
Saturday, December 16th.
December 16th.
5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Ninja Academy.
In
Pasig. Circulo Verde.
Circulo Verde.
On Calle Industria, just behind Eastwood.
Eastwood. That's what time to what time?
5 p.m., 9 p.m.
5 to 9 p.m. So if you guys want to do some stunts, man, check his shit out over there, buddy. Well, with that, we'll close this. Thank you so much, Sonny. Audio Ranger out. How do we sign off with the Ranger?
It's Zordon beam us up. I don't forget.
Adios, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.